Good afternoon. It is High Priestess Jamila. How are y'all? Uh, so I wanted to come and answer the question: is mold showing up in your house a sign of a spiritual curse? And hello, Bailey Bailey. Hello, Bailey Bailey is in the chat. I wanted to come and answer this question because a lot of people sometimes, in the especially in the spiritual community, you know um people would like to, you know say a lot of different things about certain things, but I want to come at y'all with the real, as far as, is mold a sign of some kind of spiritual curse? Because there are a lot of people that, you know how people that don't like you, oh, that's why that happened, because I cursed you. And yeah, so let's talk about it. The photograph that you're seeing actually the um in the thumbnail is actually a photograph from one of the bedrooms in my house. Okay. And you know how everybody been talking around the internet about how I'm broke and I'm neglectful and I'm horrible, and I'm a liar, and I'm just this deadbeat. I'm just a boy. Okay. And so, and black mold can be dangerous. It can be. I think that you have to probably be allergic to it. But it's not good, living in a home with black mold. It's not. Okay, it really isn't. But I wanted to answer the question: is it a result, or is showing up? Is it some kind of curse or something? And I'm going to answer that question. The answer is no, but then yes. No, but yes. Mold is caused by moisture and water getting into your home somehow where it shouldn't be. Okay. And of course, wiping it down with bleach doesn't do much because there's still mold on the inside of that wall. This is just what you're seeing on the surface on your side, but the mold is actually starting to show up. So that means that it's just mold, right? So that's the result. And typically it is because of a unattended to roof, or either things in the house needing to be fixed. It could be caused by a plumbing leak, uh, or it could be caused by a roof leak, some kind of leak somewhere that needs to be fixed. Now, if you are a homeowner, this is something that you hopefully have some kind of homeowner's insurance so that you can get some kind of mold remediation. And the normal thing for people to do is to fix the roof ever so often after a few years, after, I mean, it more than likely, if your house is, you're going to need to get that roof fixed or replaced, right? And if you're a homeowner and you fail to do that, then you are running the risk of having mold show up in the house because, you know, they have wear and tear. And so this is the reason why you fix these things so that you can prevent further damage in your home. Okay. If you are a renter, that means that your landlord has failed to fix those things and keep those things up at the property. Okay. And when something like that pops off, um, I think that, and from what I heard from someone, is that, if even if there's homeowners insurance on the property, landlords will avoid going through the insurance because apparently it can cause the insurance rate to go up, which to me makes no sense. Because if you've got a tenant living in your home, you're going to have a pissed off tenant, and the tenant uh, technically doesn't have to pay you anything until you get the problem fixed. And, because the home is then deemed uninhabitable. Okay. And a lot of people will go through what is called mold sickness, so you could be potentially damaging that tenant and their family's health. Okay. And you can get yourself into a lot of trouble by not fixing those things. I know that over here in Georgia, they actually just put a law into effect back in June that neglectful landlords can um, spend time in jail. Okay. They can actually spend time in jail and pay all sorts of fines if it's not fixed. So is it a curse? No, it's just the result of nature and building materials, and things needing to be fixed. But it may be a curse that causes you to neglect, or your landlord to neglect those things. So this is the reason why it's preferred to own your own home, because me personally, um, if I owned my own home, I would have, you know, I would fix things like that because I would have insurance and I would have plenty of money to pay whatever deductible is needed for that. Okay. It would be my home and I would care about it enough to say, oh God, I got to fix this. Okay. Um, so more than like it could be a curse on the landlord. I'd say that somebody that owns a property that decides not to fix or remediate mold is definitely got some kind of spiritual curse on them. So it would be a curse of some sort that would, you know, prevent somebody from fixing something like that. Okay. It would be because they would be, I don't know, off in La La Land. I can tell you that if you are a landlord, uh, your tenant could sue you. Your tenant could take those photographs and proof of that mode to court and ask to be compensated, you shouldn't be evicting somebody like that. In fact, the laws in Georgia protect the tenant a lot. It depends on um, what courtroom you're talking to, right? Because technically, with things like that happening, the people in the home could potentially be, again, it's a risk to their health. Your tenants could potentially be sick. Your tenants could, uh, you know, be also at the same time. This is why home ownership is important, because if you are a tenant that's living under the roof of a corporation or a person that has a curse on them, that curse is going to affect you because the landlord is going to be neglectful. And then also, whatever curse is on the landlord, yes, you're a tenant, so you are connected to that landlord. So if I were you guys, whenever you rent a house, protect yourself from whatever is happening to that landlord spiritually, because it could affect you. You know what I mean? And so I'm in a habit of doing that. I actually use a wine bottle for that. And I write down the landlord's name, the owner's name. I use all kind of salt and protective crystals. And I just put it in a bottle, not just a wine bottle, a witch bottle, like just a bottle with a cork, to protect myself and my family from whatever is going on with that landlord, because it can affect you. It can. Okay. Especially if, the landlord is ignorant to this fact. Landlords, and I want to talk to renters in particular, landlords that's kind of running around here, and 70% of their tenants are complaining. 70% of them are saying, oh my God, this landlord ruined my life. 70% of the tenants are complaining of the same things. Then more than likely that landlord does have a curse on them, more than likely. And they need to probably get it removed. But since so many people, you never know what your landlord's spiritual beliefs are. So if your landlord, uh, if they believe that, you know, Yahweh or Jehovah is coming to collect his people someday and none of this matters, then of course they possibly would be neglectful. Possibly because, they're thinking it'll all be over soon. And no, we're still going to be here a year from now and you're still going to be ruining people's lives. Okay. So, I'd say if you have a neglectful landlord like that, I would report it to the courts and I would be asking that landlord for compensation for the neglect and try to get out of the property as soon as possible. Okay. Because every landlord is not cursed. There's a lot of landlords that take very good care of their properties, and you never worry about that. You just have to. I think that when it comes to renters, I'm gonna give you guys a little tip. A lot of the times, these landlords will hire management companies, which is a third party, to manage the property. but the management won't actually be the owner. So I would prefer, if I were doing a landlord, I would prefer manage, the owner to also manage the property, because more than likely they're going to care. They're going to take better care of the property sometimes, you know, because what these owners will do is they will hire these management companies. They'll already know that a problem is there. They'll patch it, they'll paint it, and then they'll just move people in because they want to make a quick buck. They don't care about the health and the safety of the families that they move into their homes. So a big sign is when the owners, they keep hiring various management companies, because the management company will tell them, they'll say, hey, this needs to be fixed. The tenant wants it fixed. It's according to our standards that you fix it. Where's the money? And the owners will say, nope, we don't want to pay the money. So we're going to get another management company. And so what they do is they hop from different management companies. And I've experienced this because in this house that I live in, there's been 3 or 4 different management companies in the house that I live in. Okay. And, they'll do all sorts of ornery things. Hello, pretty girl Jean and one EQ. Hello. They'll do all kind of odd things like, you know, like what mine did, which was raise the rent up to almost 2,000 per month in a house that they're not taking care of. So, you know, anyway, um, but I'd say that the actual showing up of the mold, it's a sign that whoever owns the land could be cursed because they're not taking care of it, right? You yourself, if you are living in a home that you own and you don't want to fix stuff, or something is going on to where you can't, then yeah, that could be a curse. Absolutely. Yes. Um, Otherwise, the mold itself, it comes from moisture and water. Yeah. Yeah. You know, my mother, when she was alive, she always preached to me before she got sick and we stopped talking. She used to always preach to me, do not rent, stop renting and own your own home. She would always fuss at me for years. And I had, I used to have, you know, uh, years ago, I didn't have it my entire life, but, I would get help with my rent through the government, because, and so, um, but each and every place, not each and every place. Let me not get to line, because I had some very good landlords, in between that time, but, and I don't know what it is with Georgia. Oh my God, the landlords. I've had 2 horrific ones, 2 of them, you know, and both of them kind of selfish and neglectful. And you know it takes more to being a landlord, just other than just collecting rent. And technically you can't You can't say, oh, well, if you don't pay your rent, I can't fix it. No, actually, no, no, because by the time a problem has arisen, your tenants could be half dead or sick and they can't pay their rent. The bottom line is that you knew there was a problem years ago that you failed to fix, and you moved this tenant into this house that you knew had problems. And now that tenant, now now you potentially have a a very big lawsuit against you. Okay. So yeah, that right there. Okay. But um my suspicion would be that there's no insurance at all, or whatever the reasoning behind it is absolutely ridiculous. But I think that when it comes to religion and spirituality, I've noticed that people that have more complicated spiritual beliefs, they seem to be more thorough sometimes because, you know, or, mm, mm, mm. It depends. I think that if you're going to rent a place, though, I would say look at the landlord and see what their beliefs are. I would say look and see what kind of energy they got on them, like what energy is around the property, not just kind of looking at the house and going, oh my God, I love this place. And, they kind of do that in all of the scary movies of haunted houses. Um, they'll go and look at it. They'll say, oh my God, I love it. I'll take it. And, it's like, whoa, slow down, you know, slow down. So, anyway, that's to answer you guys' question. Um, there are ways that you can, um, are there cursed houses though? Yeah, it is another question I feel like y'all would ask. Yes, but you can remove curses from houses, and those are spirits or bad energy. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you can remove those curses from a house. It's not going to miraculously get rid of mold. Okay. Removing a curse from a home is not going to, the mold is not just going to disappear like supernatural. No, somebody has to do the mold remediation on that house. Anyway, you guys, it's been an amazing 10/23/23. Um, and I got to go because I got to follow up on some emails. So I will see you guys later. Okay. But I will tell you that a lot of times when you neglect spiritual things, yeah, you're going to start seeing that neglect show up in your houses, your cars. You'll see that neglect show up because, you're not taking care of those things. And yes, curses will put a person under possession. That, they'll put you under possession. You'll just be like, hey, I can totally get away with not remediating mold, and you know and you have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that other people have different living standards than others. So, some people may think, well, it's just mold, it's not that big of a deal, it's not gonna mold doesn't really bother people. You just take some bleach and wipe it off. And what country are you from? And so that's why many of these places, they will paint over it and cover it up, patch it up, and not actually fix it. And it's a shame because, especially with this home that I live in, I have a sentimental love for this house and the architecture and the people that built this house and the people that have loved on this house throughout the years. And it's such a shame. I wish I owned it. I do. I wish I could buy this home. I would right now. Well, I would buy it next month, but yeah. And I'm thinking about putting in an offer. You never know, but that just yeah. So y'all have a good day. Blessings to you guys. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming, pretty girl Jean. And Bailey and 1EQ. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.